People remember the lions, but forget the reason Daniel walked out alive. In this story, a faithful man, Daniel, served a powerful king in a foreign land. Jealous officials made a cruel law to trap him. The law forbade worship of any god or man but the king. Daniel kept praying to his God with the windows open, and so he was arrested and thrown into a den of lions. At dawn, the king rushed to the den and cried out, "Daniel, has your God been able to save you?" Daniel answered, "My God sent his angel and shut the lions' mouths, they have not harmed me." The miracle revealed God's power and moved the king to praise God. This is more than a rescue story, it is a lesson about courage, prayer, and living one's faith where the world sees it. Listen closely. The true message can change you. Welcome, and thank you for joining me. In this video, we will study Daniel chapter 6 slowly and carefully. This is not a rushed message. It is a journey into truth, meaning, and wisdom. The goal is understanding, not noise. We will read the story, explain the background, and draw lessons that speak to everyday life. Nothing will be too complex or confusing. I will use clear words so anyone, anywhere in the world, can follow. Please stay until the end, because each chapter builds on the next. By the end, Daniel's story will speak to you in a deeper and more powerful way. Daniel was living in a foreign land under the rule of King Darius. The king planned to organize his kingdom carefully, so he appointed many leaders to help him govern. Among them were 3 high officials, and Daniel was one of them. Very soon, Daniel proved himself to be wiser, more honest, and more faithful than the others. Because of this, the king planned to put Daniel in charge of the whole kingdom. This made the other officials angry and jealous. They searched for a way to accuse Daniel of wrongdoing, but they found nothing. Daniel was faithful, honest, and careful in all his duties. There was no corruption in him. At last, they said to one another, "We will never find any charge against Daniel unless it has to do with the law of his God." So they made a plan. They went together to the king and said, "O King Darius, live forever." All the officials agree that the king should make a new law. For 30 days, anyone who prays to any god or man except you, O king, should be thrown into the den of lions. The king liked the idea and signed the law, not knowing it was a trap. When Daniel heard that the law had been signed, he did not panic or hide. He went to his house as usual. Upstairs, his windows were open toward Jerusalem. 3 times a day, Daniel knelt down, prayed, and gave thanks to his God, just as he had always done. The officials were watching. They rushed in and found Daniel praying. They went straight to the king and reminded him of the law. Then they said, "Daniel, one of the exiles from Judah, does not respect you or your law. He still prays to his God 3 times a day." When the king heard this, he was deeply troubled. He realized he had been tricked. All day long he tried to find a way to save Daniel, but the law could not be changed. As evening came, the officials returned and reminded the king that no law of the Medes and Persians could be altered. So the king gave the order. Daniel was brought and thrown into the den of lions. The king said to Daniel, "May your God, whom you serve continually, rescue you." A stone was rolled over the opening of the den, and the king sealed it with his own sign. That night, the king could not sleep. He refused food and entertainment. At the first light of dawn, he rushed to the lion's den. With a worried voice, he called out, "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God